जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna and welcome back. Thank you for joining. Today we are discussing verse number 6 of chapter number 2 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And in the last few verses we saw that Arjuna is giving his argument that why he doesn't want to fight. And Arjuna is saying that how can I counterattack great personalities like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship. And Arjuna thinks that it would be better for him to live in this world by begging than at the cost of the lives of these great souls who were his grandfather and his teachers. And if they are killed, everything Arjuna is going to enjoy in the kingdom will be tainted with their blood. So therefore, in this verse number 2.6, Arjuna is saying, nor do I know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. So this is an indecision. This is the kind of fifth reason for which Arjuna gives for that he is not going to participate in this war. So let's see the Sanskrit of this verse. Na chaitad vidmaha kataranno gariyo yadva jayema yadiva no jayehu yan eva hatvana jijisvisamasaha Devastita pramukhe dhatra rashtraha. So Arjuna, the translation goes as this: nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live, yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. So Arjuna is telling Krishna that he is not sure what he should do or what I should do. So the first line goes as Na chaitad vidmaha kataran no gariyo. The meaning of this is vidma means to know and kataran means which and gariyo means better. So Arjuna is telling here to Krishna that I don't know which is better, right? Better of what? Better of yadva jayma yadiva no jayehu. So yadva jayma means whether we conquer them or yadiva no jayehu or they conquer us. So Arjuna is confused about two things. That first is, should he fight or should he not fight? And second is, if he has chosen to fight, should he conquer them or are they going to conquer him? So this is a question. Arjuna his mind is confused and that is bothering his mind. And then the third line is yan eva hatvana jijivisamaha. Jijivisamaha means we would want to live. And so basically he is trying to say that if they die, then I don't have any desire to live. And then the last line says, Te avastita pramukhe dhatra rashtraha. So he's saying, so those who have no desire to kill, they are all in front of me and they are all ready to fight with me. So let's see what is Srila Prabhupada saying in the purport. So in the purport, the first point Prabhupada brings is Arjuna unable to decide to fight or not to fight. So Arjuna did not know whether he should fight and risk unnecessary violence, although fighting is the duty of Kshatriya, or whether he should refrain and live by begging. So these are the two options Arjuna had. So let's see what are the options Arjuna has, and we can see his indecision based on the option he is looking for. So indecision of Arjuna is confused whether to fight or not to fight. So this is indecisive based on the following aspect. So he has like basically two options. So first option is he fights, and then second option, if he doesn't want, he doesn't fight. So let's say he fights. So he fights, then there are again two things that can happen. He may win or he may lose. So if he wins, still he will not be able to enjoy without his relatives. So this is the argument he is giving in chapter number 1, verse number 31 to 35, where he is giving the argument of enjoyment. That if his relatives are killed, then he will not be able to enjoy. And then the second thing that can happen is he may not emerge victorious in spite of so much bloodshed. So if he can lose, actually, if he fights, he can win or he can lose. So in case of he lost, so there is no enjoyment guaranteed. So this is the first scenario that can happen. The second scenario that can happen if he doesn't fight. So then if he doesn't fight, then what are the options Arjuna has? So Arjuna is thinking that if he doesn't fight, then begging is the one option. So begging will be his only means of sustenance because he's a Kshatriya. So then he has to give up, he has to renounce everything. So generally Kshatriyas will rule. But in case he doesn't fight, then he'll not get any kingdom. So he has to live by begging. So he has to become a renunciate. And for a Kshatriya it is difficult and therefore there will be no enjoyment. So he is not saying enjoyment if he fights, he is not saying enjoyment if he doesn't fight. So it will be also a disgraceful for Arjuna. The options which was given, which was told by Krishna in the second verse of Bhagavad Gita. So he will be thought as Anarya and Aswarga, he will not get Swarga and he will get Akirti, means he will be condemned by the warriors of the other side. They will say he will be a coward. So Arjuna over here, the situation in front of Arjuna looks like, in contemporary terms, we can say that it's a lose-lose situation. If he fights, even if he wins, then still it's a lose situation for him. And if he doesn't fight, again he is losing something. So it's a lose-lose situation for Arjuna. So this is actually, this indicates that Arjuna's mind is actually frozen by indecision. And that's why Arjuna is saying, I don't know what to do. Yeah. So when somebody says that I don't know what to do, actually that is the beginning of intelligence. When somebody accepts this fact that I don't know what needs to be done, so that is the beginning of intelligence. Why this is the beginning of intelligence? Because intelligence means to know what to do when we don't know what to do. So this has been nicely explained by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, that intelligence, I will repeat again, intelligence means to know what to do when we don't know what to do. So in this case, Arjuna doesn't know what to do, whether to fight or not to fight. So now Arjuna knows that what to do. So he turns to Krishna. So he looks up to Krishna, he prays, he seeks guidance, he seeks help from the super soul or the Supreme Lord. And that super soul actually tells Arjuna to seek help from the Supreme Lord. The super soul sitting in the heart of Arjuna is instructing him now that you take shelter of Krishna. So now Krishna will guide Arjuna through his instruction, and that is basically the Bhagavad Gita. So this is going to happen in the next verse, which is one of the most important verses on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna, knowing his situation, that both the situation, whether he fights or he doesn't fight, it is a lose-lose situation for him. So he turns to Lord Sri Krishna for guidance. This is the most important decision Arjuna has made in his life, or he is going to make in his life. And this is what we should also learn from Arjuna, that when we are in difficulties, when we don't know what to do in life, when we turn upwards means we seek for guidance from Guru or Sadhu or Shastra. In this case of Arjuna, Krishna was present right in front of him. But for us, we can seek for the shelter of the spiritual master, the Guru, or any other sadhus, or we can seek instruction from the Shastras. So that is the best way to resolve any issue in life. So let's continue with our discussion from the purport of Srila Prabhupada. So what are Arjuna's options? If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. Nor there were certainty of victory, because either side might emerge victorious. Even if a victory awaited them and their cause was justified, still, if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in the battlefield, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for him. So we discussed this point. If he wins, he still loses, and if he loses, he loses anyway. So consideration by Arjuna. So all this consideration by Arjuna definitely proved that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also a highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. So Arjuna putting forward these arguments indicates his character. So this is a sign of a devotee actually, because he's thinking about all these things. He is not just acting whatever has come in his mind. He is not whimsically acting on them, but he is thinking about all these points. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in a royal household, is another sign of detachment. So though he is a Kshatriya and he must have a kingdom to rule, but he's thinking in terms of Dharma Shastra. He's thinking as a devotee, not as a Kshatriya. He was truly virtuous, as these qualities combined with his faith in the words of the instruction of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicates. So this is what Prabhupada is trying to bring the point to us, that these nice qualities which are manifested by Arjuna over here is because he is virtuous in character and also he is a devotee. And that is why he is even thinking about all these points. Conclusion. It is concluded that Arjuna was quite fit for liberation. So somebody who has this kind of characteristics, who is thoughtful and whose actions are not whimsical, and who is soft-hearted, and he's thinking about the other side, people on the other side. So this kind of person is a fit for liberation. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge, there is no chance of liberation. So Arjuna becomes a candidate fit for liberation because of this qualification. So let's continue. Arjuna was competent in all these attributes, over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationship. So basically Prabhupada is saying that Arjuna is fit to receive instructions from Lord Shri Krishna, and because Arjuna is going to receive this instruction, what he needs to do in this kind of situation, he is actually also going to help the entire world by discussing with Shri Krishna these spiritual science. And he is fit for the liberation, and one who wants to get liberated has to attain those qualities which Arjuna has, right? So this is what is discussed in the purport. This is a summary. This side of this section is a summary of whatever we have discussed in the purport, and we'll continue with the next verse in the next session, which is one of the most important verse in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So this verse 2:6, is the fifth point, or Arjuna's reason for not wishing to fight. This is the fifth reason. First reason was compassion in chapter number 1, and then in the next reason was enjoyment. Third was destruction of family, then saintliness and fear of sinful reaction. So these were all covered in chapter number 1, and part of this particular one is also covered in chapter number 2. And this is the last and the fifth reason. He is unable to decide. Arjuna does not actually know which is better, conquering the enemy or being conquered by them. Therefore, Arjuna, who is an intelligent person, he actually surrenders to Krishna. And that surrendering will happen in the next verse. So that's why it's very important verse. And when Arjuna surrenders, then Krishna gets the opportunity to speak. And through Arjuna, Krishna is going to instruct the entire world, right, about the spiritual science. So with that, we'll stop here and we'll continue our discussion in the next session. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.